Coming up on ETV News,
construction on and off campus. We'll show you some of Logan's latest projects.
USU researchers are making strides in finding a cure for a deadly virus.
And a new attraction springs into town.
Aggie sports have had their highs and lows since the school year started, but I'll let you relive the highest so far.
I'll give you the forecast for basking in the sun coming up on ATV Weather.
All that and more on this week's ATV News.
Hey Aggies, welcome to our first ATV News of the semester. I'm Emily Landine.
And I'm Kelsey Keller. We at ATV News are lucky enough to be reporting from our brand new studio in the Agricultural Science Building built just last semester.
But that wasn't the end of construction. I went out to find out what projects are still happening on campus. This might not be the campus you're used to. With the sounds of machinery and fenced-off areas, your route to classes are filled with bridges and detours. For most students, the construction isn't a new thing. Last year, Central Campus was filled with it. And from that construction, we have the new Agricultural Sciences building, the Distance Learning Center, even the remodel of the Animal Science building for the math department. But it's not over yet. A major construction project is going to be underway at the business building.
The large excavation in front of the business building is certainly, one that students need to watch out for.
It's called Huntsman Hall, and it will be a real asset to the department.
We'll create a complex, a business building complex consisting of two different buildings.
The addition of this building will give the department things that are high in demand.
Most of the square footage that we are dedicating in Huntsman Hall will be dedicated to classrooms.
These aren't your ordinary classrooms either.
We're primarily focusing on state-of-the-art tiered classrooms for business case study analysis.
Beyond that, they are creating a lot of space for study rooms and a lounge for students to do homework or just hang out.
Right now our students complain about having to go find someplace off campus, or if they're lucky they can find a place in the library to go do their teamwork. But now we'll be able to provide for those team needs in our new building as well.
Huntsman Hall isn't the only construction going on this year. There are plans for the space where the old Ag building was.
That would replace or in addition to spaces in the old B&R building or the Biological and Natural Resources building.
Construction is an ongoing thing at USU, and students shouldn't look for the end anytime soon.
We always have a 5-year plan, and usually there's about 5 to 10 projects on the 5-year plan.
Buildings and sidewalks aren't the only things being modified by the construction. Routes that students take to class, available parking, and scenic study areas are all affected by the change. The question is it worth it? Here's what students like you had to say.
It's kind of a pain, and it doesn't look good, and you have to go around or over the bridge, and it would be more helpful if I actually knew what it was for.
Obviously the construction sucks, but I mean, it's building something awesome.
I don't like it. I think it's just too in the way of everything.
I think that it's good to keep the campus up to date. I do worry sometimes that it's taking up some of the green space that's on campus, which I think is really nice and really important.
Students can expect construction on the new Student Recreation Center to begin in the spring.
Not only is there construction on campus, but off campus as well. Katrina Warburton shows you what's new in Logan Town.
On 6th East, there are new townhomes called Edgebrook Hall, just completed and already full of residents.
Try to give kids a good environment to learn and a good environment to study. We want them to feel like, more home rather than dorm type of feel. New furniture, new tables, new sofas, new couches, kitchen countertops that are granite, and the bathrooms are granite as well. We also provide flat screen TVs in every unit too.
And what do the residents think?
Living here is really great.
I love it. It's really nice.
Everything's nice, everything's new.
I like that it's close to campus, but it's not right on campus.
I think the price is good when you look at comparable places for living.
And having a bus stop right outside of our house is really nice.
Nice, convenient place to live.
Prices at Edgebrook are approximately $3,300 per school year. Another new apartment complex just west of Romney Stadium lies Blue Square, designed for students to have a fun and luxurious atmosphere.
The owners, they really wanted to create a fun atmosphere for Blue Square, and so what they've done is they have a courtyard, basically that we're playing music from 9 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. There's a fire pit with nice chairs for people to come and relax around. In the next month or so, we're actually going to have some food vendors moving in this bottom level.
And what about the price?
All the rents start at $395 per month. And so $395, that's an all-inclusive price. And that's your utilities, cable, granite tabletops, flat screen TV. It's fully furnished with leather couches, everything.
And residents seem to enjoy living there.
It's awesome. I love the kitchen's really big and the bathrooms are private. I love sitting around the fire pit at night when it's on. It's just nice to come and chill out here, listen to the music.
Contrary to rumors, the prices aren't as high as what many believe, and there is not an entire floor dedicated to a pool.
No pools on the roof, no bungee jumping off the top.
Katrina Warburton, ATV News.
Both apartment buildings are currently full, but Blue Square will be opening a new building spring semester.
The viral danger associated with mosquitoes may be on its way out thanks to a USU research team that has made an important step in discovering a cure.
We're able to understand why animals die, why people die, and that means that treatments can be tailored for exactly what they need to be.
He's talking about the West Nile virus. Discovered in the U.S. in 1999, it has killed more than 1,300 citizens and infected over 33,000. Now, using research that Kessler said hasn't been attempted anywhere else in the country, they made a breakthrough.
We use a laser and we put it into the brain stem of an animal, and we can actually measure which nerves are working and how infected an animal is, so that when we try a treatment or we try to analyze a specific part of the brain, we can tell exactly what's working and what isn't.
Because of the close connection between the two, researchers said studying the brain can tell you what's wrong with the body.
For example, you have the infection in the respiratory centers, you will have respiratory problems.
That is in fact exactly what they discovered. The virus attacks the respiratory center and the animal simply stops breathing.
Basically, you have all part of the brain here, starting from your frontal lobe to the cerebellum and to the spinal cord.
Coming this far has given researchers hope for what they can do in the future.
So now those treatments can be designed using some drugs that already exist, and using some new drugs, some new treatments. We can try to stop the respiratory failure from happening and ultimately stop fatality.
Although researchers have taken the first steps toward finding a cure, they say it'll be many more before they actually develop one.
That's where this is all headed. I mean, there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of work being done across the country.
Brianna Bodley, ATV News.
Health professionals have discovered the virus in patients as far north as Utah County. Despite advances made in research, it is still advised that you take precaution and wear bug spray when outdoors.
When we come back, find out what has Brigham City attracting a larger crowd.
Got a flat? Aggie Blue Bikes has a way to pump up your day. Things are pretty peachy in Brigham City. This past weekend, the town's annual Peach Days Festival attracted many visitors.
But not all the summer visitors went for the fruit. I went to Brigham City to get a taste of what's keeping the city busy. The carnival came to Brigham City over the weekend, and so did all the people. Last week, Main Street was closed to traffic and transformed into a place for visitors to roam and experience the celebration of Brigham City's peach season. And while the streets were full of people, so were the roadside fruit stands. Farmers tried to plan accordingly for Peach Days, but this summer's fruit sales have been rather unpredictable. Many people passing through Brigham City often stop at the famous fruit stands. But since the opening of the newly constructed LDS Temple, Brigham City has become more of a destination. So you might ask, how does this affect fruit sales?
With the temple visitors, every day we're overwhelmed. So you have to be well prepared to take care of your customer so he can be on his way.
At Paul's Patch, sales this summer increased by 10 times from last season due to temple visitors. The new temple also boosted attendance at Peach Days. Many families made a day out of going to Brigham City by visiting the LDS Temple, coupled with attending the festival.
Well, we heard there was going to be a short line at the temple, so yeah, and Peach Days, so everybody come out and enjoy the weather and the open house of the temple.
If you miss Peach Days, you can still purchase produce from the Brigham and Perry fruit stands into late October.
What happens if you get a flat tire while riding your bike on campus? Well, thanks to Aggie Blue Bikes, you might find a solution much closer than you think.
Are you tired from having to come all the way here just to pump air into your tires? Well, through a grant that was just approved this year, Aggie Blue Bikes has made it more convenient for students. The grant allows Aggie Blue Bikes to install air pumps in key locations throughout campus.
The idea for the pumps here at Aggie Blue Bikes, there's one here and then there's one in front of the library. It was actually a student who came up with the idea to use grant money to put in both the pumps and the fix-it stands that you see behind me.
This project will benefit students, especially those who own a bike, as it will save them more time in between classes.
Actually embodied the idea of sustainability on campus, because the grant that the project was funded through was the Blue Goes Green fee. The students are paying into this, and they actually voted on this and it got approved last year.
The pumps I installed for my Blue Goes Green project on campus I think are very beneficial to students and cyclists on Utah State campus and as well in Cache Valley. I think by having tools and pumps accessible 24 hours a day outside, it makes it more accessible and convenient for people to switch to cycling as a form of alternative transportation, and is beneficial for the whole community.
With a few pumps, you get free air and you're ready to go. Cesar Abbott, ATV News.
There are only pumps on campus, but Aggie Blue Bikes hopes to install more in the future.
Last Saturday, the TSC patio rang with the sounds of a good time. Lauren Brewer takes you to Aggie Radio's The Big Ag Show.
You said what does it?
The music you are hearing isn't some concert in Salt Lake. It's right on the TSC patio. Last Saturday, Aggie's got a taste of everything from hard rock to blues and everything else in between at the Big Ag Show. Some may wonder, what is the Big Ag Show?
The Big Ag Show is Aggie Radio's fall music festival.
I never been.
Some 15 acts perform for students. For some acts, Utah State University is full of familiar faces and fans. For others, new to Logan, this was an opportunity that could not be passed up.
We were invited by a friend of ours. He wanted us to come play. We're pretty new in Logan, so we've been playing for about 4 or 5 months, and we thought it was a good opportunity to come out and show people what we could do.
And I ain't never done you wrong.
Today we came out to the Big Ag Show to see Colby Bear and the Dangerous Mood, and it was awesome. The Big Ag Show is an awesome opportunity for students and the bands that they have to come out and to show us their talents, and there's so many talented people around here. It's awesome to hear the music that they have.
Lauren Brewer, ATV News.
If you want to find out more about Aggie Radio's music festivals, log on to radio.usu.edu.
Well, it's recruitment week for the sororities here at USU, and new girls are lining up to be part of the Kappa Delta and Alpha Chi Omega Life for this school year. Romina Nadakovich stopped by the open house to see what all the excitement was about.
Welcome to recruitment for Kappa Delta and Alpha Chi Omega.
Ladies are lining up at open registration to be part of the sorority life.
Alpha Chi Omega and Kappa Delta are soon going to be home for new recruits.
As a slideshow played of last year's Greek life, it described the experience of sorority life. Girls came to talk to sorority sisters and get some one-on-one time with them. But what makes Kappa Delta and Alpha Chi Omega different from other sororities?
One thing that makes it very different is that because there's few sororities, the community is a lot smaller, which makes it a really great thing because the students know each other in the Greek community.
But that's not all.
We break the stereotypes. There are so many different women in our sororities, and it's not just one type of girl that you see on TV. It's so many different types of girls that are here.
The sororities are also involved with several activities that Utah State puts together. T-shirts, along with a billboard, gave an idea of what the houses were involved in.
We have
have a lot of volunteers for the Howl and Mardi Gras each year. We are all members of STAB, which is the student organization under ASUSU, and I am involved in Greek Council, which is the governing body of the Greek system.
Whatever the appeal, Greek life is one of the ways to feel connected with the university and to create friendships. Romina Nadakovich, ATV News.
The new recruits find out if they got accepted into the sororities on Friday. We'll be right back with your ATV weather.
Hey Aggies, I'm Katrina Warburton here with your ATV weather. It's been a little bit colder lately, especially in the mornings, but it heats up during the day and seems to cool off again at night. Let's take a look at the satellite. Yesterday's storms have moved on, bringing rain to the Midwest and pushing off to the east. That's left us with some perfectly sunny skies for the week, but that storm didn't take care of the poor air quality problem we have here in Logan. We have about 52 parts per billion of ozone in our atmosphere right now, which is pretty high for Cache Valley. Healthy levels of ozone are around 40 parts per billion. All right, let's get into our 5-day forecast. For today, it's been warming up a little bit with highs of 76 and a low of 42. It'll continue warming for the rest of the week until we hit our weekend, where it'll be a little bit cloudy but still warm. On Saturday, it'll be a high of 85 with a low of 46 and about the same for Sunday. That's everything for our ATV weather. We'll have Meredith with the sports coming up next.
Hey Aggies, welcome to ATV Sports. I'm Meredith Kinney. There's been a lot of action in Aggie sports since school started, so let's take a quick look back at all the big plays this past month.
We spent our nights on the roof and reminisced how we thought we were bulletproof and staying out until dawn. No one could stop us from being young, so we fill up our nights just to do ourselves just, and we remember the good times like Ben told us, 'cause we're living in the moment and loving every day we get to find a better way to live a life on this earth. We're not too proud to live and learn, and we acknowledge the fact that those bridges we burn are all just wasted memories that we won't get back. Did you?
Well, history was made for Aggie football last Friday. The Utes rolled into Romney Stadium with a plan of action: defend their 15-year winning streak. Against the Utes with a big touchdown. They blocked a punt and they jumped on it in the end zone for the score. And Chucky Keaton tossed the ball to Chuck Jacobs to make the score 14-0. And then here we are in overtime with Kerwin Williams running the ball, and he gets the ball again and he runs it into the end zone for the win. All that's left is to stop one pass from Utah, and the fans rush the field.
I didn't cry, right?
Just some emotion. Yeah, just emotion.
This game is the world to me. You know, most of my family members. It's incredible. But knowing that we beat BYU back then, knowing that we beat Utah now, it can't really be as much of a surprise to us anymore. 7 regular season games in a row we've been able to win, and I think the one thing that I saw tonight was in a young, youthful group, I was excited the way that they continued to play. When adversity kind of struck, and it struck 2 or 3 times.
So the boys are on the road in Wisconsin this weekend for another big game. It's a big week for soccer. The girls are going head-to-head with number 23 Washington tomorrow night. It's a season-breaking game, and they know it.
Obviously, in addition to them being ranked 23rd in the nation right now, according to the NSCAA, they're a Pac-12 team, and they've had great success in the NCAA tournament. They're a perennial top soccer program, so we feel really fortunate to be able to host them.
It's really exciting. We don't really get big teams to come in here very often, so we're really excited. Washington's nationally ranked, and So we're excited to have them come. Hopefully we'll have a big crowd and get really excited about playing a really high caliber team here in Logan.
So they play at 4 at the Chuck and Gloria Bell Field, which is, right over there by the football stadium.
Awesome.
And so everyone needs to come out.
Yeah, I love the soccer. I think soccer at USU is really fun to watch. So with the new Lexi fields, they should be some good feedback.
Yeah, their new fields have really made a good experience for fans. So
yeah, sounds like a good time. Well, thank you, Meredith, for sports. And after this break, we'll come back with more news. 3 journalism students traveled to Ethiopia this summer to report on life in the East African country. Kelton Wells has their story.
In late July, while many students were still enjoying their summer vacations, Utah State University student Kinsey Hamilton was 8,000 miles from home, learning about the troubles of Ethiopian street children and the American man who is trying to save them.
There's a huge population of street children in Ethiopia. The reasons why they're there are very different than other countries in the world. It's kind of an interesting population, I guess you would say, but he was able to take in 20 of these boys and has a house, and he lives with them now and has become their caretaker and has really kind of changed their lives.
Hamilton says that while the trip wasn't everything she expected, it helped her become a better journalist.
I wanted to develop as a journalist, and for me, I didn't expect that being having to wait and having to compromise and having to go a couple different routes to get the story.
And her mentor, Professor Matthew LaPlante, agrees.
The goal here was we were going to bring students to Ethiopia, a place where I had reported from a year earlier, and immerse them in stories that would challenge them.
While Hamilton describes Ethiopia as a beautiful setting for her experience, she doesn't feel that the setting is the only thing that made the trip memorable.
It was really valuable just to kind of put all things aside, all those distractions, all the noise in your life, and just focus on reporting for 2 weeks, I guess that makes sense.
Because, after all, that's what being a journalism student is all about. Kelton Wells, ATV News.
The group will talk about their experience as part of the Morris Media and Society Lecture Series on October 3rd.
A new trampoline park has bounced into town. Ryan Humphreys shows us what this one-of-a-kind park has to offer.
The next time you need to take a break from studying, Cache Valley's new trampoline park might just fit the bill. The Jump Zone is a unique playground covered wall-to-wall of bouncy trampolines.
This is the most fun type place that you can come for a date.
The whole park was designed so that everyone of all ages could have fun, from the kids zone to the dodgeball and all the way to the foam pits.
We basically do any kind of party or reservation you can think of. School field trips, PTA trips, preschools, church groups.
Like any physical activity, there's a risk of being injured. But when he says they haven't had any real accidents so far.
A lot of them are kind of just catching a toe or tripping or maybe not quite watching carefully, and you got someone jumping from one end to the other and kaboom. Our padding covers every single area that a trampoline doesn't, so it's very safe. We also have a kid zone that is for all jumpers 46 inches and under. They actually have their own mini foam pit and their own mini basketball hoop. We can accommodate all ages, even down to 1 year old. We have 4 adult foam pits and 3 adult basketball courts.
Being a student here in Logan also has its benefits.
We offer specials. Aggie students, if they show their USU card, they get $2 off.
Ryan Humphreys, ATV News.
Thanks, Ryan. You can visit their Facebook and Twitter page for coupons and special deals. I know that I'll be checking out, guys. That looks like it's so much fun.
Yeah,
I've heard
it definitely does. I really want to go there. After a newscast like this, we need to go get some stress out.
I know there's a bunch of places down in Salt Lake that are like that.
Really?
People from my family and a few friends have been there, and they said that it is just a blast.
I bet.
Nice.
That sounds like so much fun.
Okay, well, from all of us here at ATV News, thanks for joining us.
Have a great day, Aggies.